Okay, boys and girls, today we're going to study solving equations with a variable exponent. Think x up in the power, 2 to the x power, 1/4 to the x power, that kind of nature. What I'd like you to do is take a few minutes and simply complete these 6 questions. I want you to rewrite each one of these numbers as a base raised to an exponent. The example shows us 4 equals 2 squared, so that tells us kind of what to do. 25, we know, can be rewritten as 5 raised to the second power. 8 can be rewritten as 2 to the third power. 27, 3 to the third power. 16 can be rewritten 2 ways, either 4 squared or 2 to the 4th power. 64, 8 squared, 4 to the 3rd power, or 2 to the 6th power. A lot of different ways that we can rewrite 64. And lastly, we have 125. 125 is simply 5 to the 3rd power. These are some skills that we're going to have. Being able to rewrite larger numbers as numbers raised to an exponent. So let's get into what we're talking about today. We're talking about equations that involve exponents. We want to be able to say at the end, I can solve equations with variable exponents by equating the bases. Equating the bases just means let's make the bases the same. And so when we look at 2x equals 8, we have to think back to, hey, what can we change 8 to? On the previous activity, I asked you to turn 8 into a number raised to an exponent. You guys said it was 2 to the 3rd power. So let's rewrite this whole equation. 2 to the x equals 2 to the 3rd power. All I did was take 8 and rewrite it as a number raised to a variable. Well, if 2 to the x is equal to 2 to the 3rd, my bases are the same. I can say that the exponents then also have to be the same. So in this case, I'd say that x is simply equal to 3. Now, if we think about it, 2 raised to the 3rd power is 8. So example, x equals 3, that's a perfect solution. Now, I'd love to tell you it's always this easy, but it's not. So let's try one that's a little bit harder. 1/5 x equals 125. We can't really mess with 1/5 x, but we can mess with 125. On the previous activity, I asked you to turn 125 into a number raised to a power, and you guys said 125 equals 5 to the 3rd power. Now here's where our rules come into play. We don't have 5. Our base is not 5, it is 1/5. What can I do to a base to turn it into a fraction? What exponent do I have to make it? We know that a negative exponent is going to create a fraction for us. So rather than say 125 equals 5 to the 3rd, let's make 125 equal to 1/5 raised to the negative 3rd power. That negative exponent tells us we need to flip our base. We know if we take 1/5 and flip it, we now have the 5. So 1/5 to the negative 3rd and 5 to the 3rd are the exact same thing. Now, my bases are the same. I have 1/5 and I have 1/5. Let's rewrite the whole equation. 1/5 x equals 1/5 raised to the negative 3rd power. My bases are the same, 1/5 and 1/5. Therefore, my exponents also have to be the same, or x is equal to negative 3rd. Let's take a look at one more. 4 times 3 to the x power equals 108. Well, we see a lot of things on here that are a little bit different from what we've been doing. First off, we've got this number out in front, this 4. We never had that before. In our last 2 examples, we just had a base raised to an exponent. What can we do to get that same scenario back where we just have a base raised to an exponent? And what I want to say is, what do you want to get rid of? How is it connected And therefore, what do we have to do to get rid of it? My thinking is I want to get rid of this 4. This 4 is connected to the 3 raised to the x power through multiplication. In order to get rid of it, then I'm going to have to divide. So in order to do it, let's divide both sides by 4. And what we're going to get is 3 to the x equals 27. Once we get this scenario, 3 to the x power equals 27, from this point it should be pretty easy for us. Bells should be going off in their head. Say, hey, 27, we know that one. We know that we can write 27 as 3 raised to the 3rd power, or 3 to the x power equals 3 to the 3rd power. Now, once we have our bases the same, in this case they're going to be 3's, we can simply make our exponents equal to each other, or x is equal to 3. I think if you do the work, you'll find out that 4 times 27 actually gives you 108. So x must be equal to 3. So quick review. What were the steps that we took in order to solve equations with variable exponents? Well, first, we need to find bases need to be the same, or need to be equal. Once the bases are equal, the exponents are also equal. I hope you guys took down some notes. If not, go back, watch the video one more time. Write down the stuff that's important and then work on today's classwork. I'll see you in a few days.